Hey Beyond Decadence fans, it's Chef Maria, and I'm back again, what is today? Tuesday, to show you another demo. This is probably going to be the quickest and easiest one I've ever shown you, but I thought it was just perfect for today. This is, I don't have my things back far enough so you can see them. Let me go that way. This is edible cookie dough. You know, we're not supposed to eat cookie dough with raw eggs in it, and, you know, in large quantities of raw flour is not good for you either. So I've got an edible cookie dough recipe for you that does not have any eggs in it, and we've treated the flour as well. So let's go ahead and get started. Today I brought back my little hand mixer. Well, not hand mixer, my electric mixer. Okay, all right, take two. Make sure the beater is in all the way. All right, I guess we're gonna have some technical difficulties today. There we go. I think you're supposed to put that one in first, and then the other. There we go. Now I'm good to go. At least it's plugged in, so that's good. But anyway, I'm making a very small batch. This is actually one that's the right size for 2 people. So there is a larger recipe online, but I'm doing the small batch because I don't need to eat a whole vat of raw cookie dough. 2 tablespoons of softened butter into the bowl. Okay. And then I went ahead and mixed the 2 tablespoons of packed brown sugar, tablespoon of white sugar, and then a pinch of salt in there together. So I'm just going to dump those in and then get my little mixer going. Remember, this mixer can be crazy sometimes. I'm going to stop and scrape it down. Oh, I was watching the news and heard that Mecklenburg County issued a stay-at-home order starting Thursday at 8 a.m. through April 16th, so it looks like we're going to be in this together for a little bit. Okay, let me go ahead and finish this. Starting to come together now. I'm going to whip it just a little bit more, but it's almost there. And this is a really small batch. I really would have loved to have made the whole batch, but if I let me try that again. If I make the whole batch, I would eat the whole batch. So this is just 1 for 2. Scrape it down a little bit more. What I was saying is this is just a batch for 2 people, so it's a really small batch. You can make a larger batch, and I can tell you where the recipe is at online if you would like, because you might have a much larger household. And then I'll pour in just a little bit of milk, about a teaspoon at a time. Just want to loosen it up a little bit. And for those of you just joining me, I'm making edible cookie dough. This does not have any raw eggs in it. It does, no raw eggs. And there's a couple different ways you can do it. This is just going to be chocolate chip, but you can do it as a sugar cookie with funfetti in it. I'm sure the kids would like that. Or you can do a double chocolate with chocolate chunks in it as well. Then next I'm going to put in my flour. This little measuring cup holds 1/4 of a cup, but I just tried to put in about a teaspoon or 2 of milk just to loosen it up a little bit. The flour, when you're using it in cookie dough that's not going to be baked, and let me make sure I emphasize, you cannot bake this. This will not bake because there's no baking soda or baking powder, and there's no egg, so don't even try it. It won't work. You can heat it. I just heated it in the microwave for about 30 seconds. The key is you want it to reach, I looked at it, but I'm trying to remember, I think it's 160 degrees, 160 degrees, and that treats it and kills any of the things in it, any of the bacteria. I hate to say that when we're talking food, but you know, flour is usually cooked, and when it's not cooked, you need to heat treat it first. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the flour, and it was probably not the smartest to wear a black coat today. I might have heated it a little bit too much because that's why it's stuck inside my bowl a little bit. You can also do it in the oven on, I think it's 350 degrees on, you know, parchment paper, sheet pan for about 5 or 7 minutes. You can Google that to get the exact time. And I believe the temperature is 160 degrees. I looked at it before I did it, but now I can't remember. And then I'm going to turn this back on slowly. And it looks just a little bit thick to me, so I'm going to add a little bit more milk here. Boy, this really is enough for 2 people. I see there were some comments on the screen, but I can't read them from here. These are distance glasses, and I can't see the screen, so I'll answer as soon as we get done. So I'm going to add just a little bit more milk. Just a little bit, because you only want to add about a teaspoon. You know, a little bit more than a teaspoon. You can add a little bit more if you need to, but just don't pour in the whole thing. So I had a pinch of salt in the flour, or I think actually I had it in the brown sugar and sugar. I just put all my dry ingredients together. And then the next thing is I'm going to put in 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla. Now remember, in my other recipes, I didn't use my vanilla. I used other flavorings because this bottle, make sure I got it right, costs about $135. It may be even more than that by now, but it's amazing quality and it makes a huge difference. And since this recipe doesn't have a whole lot of other ingredients in it, you want to make sure, this is 1/8 of a teaspoon, you want to make sure that you're using, and I'm not going to do it over the bowl because bad things could happen. You want to make sure that you're using the best quality vanilla that you can, because you're going to taste the difference. I don't want to speak ill. Ooh, got too much. I don't want to speak ill of other brands, but that's a little bit much. But by the time I get it in here and scrape it out, then it will be okay. And it's not worth it to try and put that little bit back into the bottle. Okay, so on the mixer goes again. And put the cap on the vanilla because I don't want to knock it over, because then you would see me cry on camera. Nobody needs to see that. And then the chocolate chips go in. This is about 2 tablespoons, maybe a little more, because I like chocolate chips. They're minis. And I'm going to, like I mentioned several times this week as I've been doing the videos, I'll still do these little free ones that are short, but I also am working on, hopefully have it online tonight or by tomorrow, an online class that will be appropriate for kids or adults, different levels, that I'll do a Facebook video, and you'll be able to interact with me and ask questions. So I'm really excited about that. I don't know if you heard, as I mentioned at the beginning, that Mecklenburg County has issued the stay-at-home order, so I will have to shut down my website from the standpoint of being able to deliver orders or have people pick them up. That's going to be gone. So I will have that paid class in place so you can still learn more in depth about baking and give your kids something to do, since they're going to be at home with you for a long time. But the class will be appropriate for various levels. So, with all that said, our edible cookie dough is done. And since it's edible and there's no eggs in it, even though I probably, you know, parents would always get at us when we were younger about, you know, eating raw dough, but, you know, I'm still here and I've probably had tons of raw dough. So here's my edible cookie dough. Now I feel like one of those TV chefs where they try it on air and I have to make sure that I like it. I can taste the richness of the brown sugar. Okay, it is good. It's a little sweet, so I think I would maybe cut back on a little of the brown sugar. I can taste the crunchiness of it, and it was definitely brown sugar. There was 2 tablespoons in there, and then a tablespoon of sugar, 1/4 of a cup of heated flour, and a pinch of salt, and then 1/8 of a teaspoon of vanilla, and I believe that was it, and about a teaspoon or 2, just kind of judging it to loosen it up, of milk. So there is the edible cookie dough. You can do a multitude of things with it, just don't bake it because that won't work. So I hope you enjoyed that. You can flavor it a lot of different ways. I will post tonight more information about a link to the class. The first one is going to be called, what did I call it? I changed the name a couple times. Baking Basics Boot Camp. So I like that name, and it's going to start out with the very basics of baking to go into more depth about things that I may have just kind of glossed over as I'm going through these demos and give you more information. There will be a syllabus so you can see if it's at a level that you're looking for, and then as I get feedback from you, then I'll develop additional classes going into more concepts and more detail, and that will give adults and children something alike to do and to enjoy as we have this time staying at home together. I look forward to seeing you guys soon online, and it's raining outside, so we only got a couple days left before we're going to be in for the long haul. See you guys soon.